So being in a background of poverty and being of English language learner status, these kids are more vulnerable to failure. So in assessment, we're distinguishing language difference from disorder or impairment so we don't over-identify. But we also want to legitimately serve the kids who need special education services. And that leads me to the story of Eddie. Again, not his real name. Eddie loved the 49ers, so those are some therapy materials that I use with him. Eddie is one of my teen young men sex offenders who I see. So that's him right there. And in a way, Eddie is kind of my poster boy for why I do what I do. He was referred last year for a lisp. And so when I went to screen him at the facility, he said, "Hi, I'm Miss Celeste. My name is Eddie." So I thought, okay, there we go. And so the social worker came in after Eddie had left, and she said, "You know, Celeste, I think there might be some language processing problems." I'm like, okay. So I looked through his files, no IEP. So I talked to my boss, and I just said, I'll call her Debbie, not her real name. I said, "Debbie, I'd like to do some language testing." And she said, "Celeste, don't worry, chill out. He speaks Spanish. It's got to be a second language issue." So I checked into it, and he doesn't speak Spanish. Mom does, and she doesn't speak English. We communicate her via an interpreter, but Eddie doesn't speak Spanish anymore. He is a monolingual English speaker. So I said to my boss, I said, "Debbie, I'm really concerned." And I screened him, and I saw some issues there. And she said, "Well, I still don't want to do it." And I said, "Look, I'm really begging, okay, because I'm really seeing some red flags." So I was able, through kind of nagging, if you will, to get my boss and the whole special ed team to evaluate Eddie. And it turned out that at the age of 15, he was reading at a second grade level and had a very severe learning disability. And he'd gone all these years being unidentified because everybody sloughed it off to him being an English language learner and low income and all this. So we got him an IEP, and I'm thrilled to tell you that he's getting really extensive services, and he's increasing a lot in his reading. So I bring him books, and he likes science fiction, and he kept carrying around this one tattered book. So I was very rewarded when recently he said to me, "Miss Celeste, I was thinking of playing a video game, but I decided I'd rather read instead." So it doesn't get much better than that. But again, Eddie was one of those where I was just so thankful for the privilege of being in the right place at the right time so that he would finally get some services which he should have had all along.